Whoa, it's Willy. Hello, today I wanted to talk about a topic that I've never really covered before, and that's inspiration in my levels. I honestly have a very hard time with inspiration. Several levels of mine have been left unfinished or simply were too boring to upload. So today I decided I wanted to define some of the inspiration behind Beef Cavern and see if I can learn anything from it. For this video, I want to start with some primary sources of inspiration, and in the case of Beef Cavern, that was my environment. As of making this level, I had been on several trips to eastern Washington, and one of the things I've noticed was how elegantly the terrain changes from rainforest to desert. One specific detail that caught my eye was that the color palette was similar. The greenery in the forest is still there in the desert, just engulfed by this vast brown emptiness. I decided I wanted to do something similar with Beef Cavern, using callbacks and colors to help sell the theme. I decided to start with a very simple block palette, with some alternating colors, an idea I borrowed from Grady Boy. The gameplay starts simple as well, reflecting the color softness and the beat of the song. At some point while messing around with air deco, I added these plants. Little did I know they would be the stepping stones for the rest of the level's theme. And when it finally came to the ball part, I noticed a weird ascending pattern in the song, and decided to have the plants grow up, becoming air deco. My original idea was to have the level open up, like that one Samifying level, and then to calm back down at the end. But when designing the ball block design, I was messing around with shading Split 7.2's typical two-tone block design. In doing so, I added a hue shifted glow piece, which became a third color for the level. Along with the green and purple, I now had a splash of orange. I immediately noticed the similarity to the desert, and decided I wanted to slowly introduce orange more and more into the level, slowly taking up the environment. As a whole, the progression I think turned out pretty well, and the orange was a good decision in the long run. Although the ending feels a little bit shallow, I feel like another color or more purple could have worked better for it. Overall, my favorite part of the level is the introduction of the orange fog in the ship part. I think it really sells the progression, and overall works really well, even though it is a lot of objects. As for other sources of inspiration, one of the biggest forms of inspiration for Beef Cavern was music. As almost anyone who plays GD will tell you, some songs just make you want to build. Sometimes a song is just so good you can imagine a level for it, and a lot of times the challenge of creating is making that level a reality. Songs can have a progression to them too, one that I try and emulate in my levels. As I said earlier with the plants at the start, Beef Cavern relies heavily on its song, as so do many levels. Properly interpreting the song is such an objective thing, and takes practice to fine-tune. Over time, I found some artists that helped me come up with level ideas. Another very important form of inspiration is, of course, other levels. I find that if you can find a few good creators with unique ideas, it can help your level quality a lot. It's also important to remember that you shouldn't just study levels and styles you like. I find that I have more fun creating when I branch out and do unique stuff than when I only create modern levels. And as shown with Beef Cavern, uniqueness helps a level stand out. You should strive to make levels you like, but don't be afraid to step out of that comfort zone sometimes. In addition, if you have friends that create, try to ask them what they think of ideas. You can also playtest. Giving your friends a copy of a level can help its quality a lot. Also, if you lose inspiration, you can take a break from a level. Don't feel bad if you can't finish one on time. I barely upload levels anymore at all. As a whole, for me, creativity is most important when building. Levels like Not Jank, Anxiety Suite, or Save As wouldn't be the same without the passion put into them. I don't upload levels that I don't like. I try to make sure that every level I make has that effort put into it. And if I don't think it does, then I don't upload it. Another major form of inspiration for me are the games I play. No, not that one. If you look within mini games, you'll find the same passion as in Geometry Dash. From old Atari titles using vector graphics to their fullest potential, to SNES games with beautiful gridded sprites. Donkey Kong Country, for example, has some of the best use of foliage in any game I've ever seen. Games like Rain World and Hollow Knight show just how important foliage is to selling a look. Meanwhile, games like Fancy Pants and Need for Speed show the importance of depth and environment. You could think of the stories in Omori, Undertale, or Mother 3 as progression, always leaving the player uncertain as to what happens next. Games like Fez and Yumi Nikki show the importance of simplicity in visuals, and beyond that, games like Dead Cells or Enter the Gungeon show the importance of gameplay. Really, all forms of art can work as inspiration for levels. From modern art in Pompidou to music in an ad, or buildings in New York to arches in Moab, a lot of different things have inspired my levels. And at the end of the day, GD levels are art in a sense, and what you make should be what you want. For me, that process involves lots of learning with each level, from my environment, music, friends, art, or games.